Aloha guys, it's Logan back with another GoGo Rental Discover. Today, we're coming to you from the west side at Yokohama Beach. All right, so where exactly is Yokohama? We know it's on the west side, but where is it? So from Waikiki, you're looking at maybe like an hour to an hour and a half drive. And basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the H1 west. As soon as you get as far west as you can go, you're gonna start heading north, and you're gonna take that road essentially until it dead ends. When it dead ends, you know you've arrived. You can actually stop far before it dead ends. If you see the Space Force sign on your right-hand side, you know you're there. So we get asked all the time, hey, I want to get the motorcycle, and me and my wife, we're gonna do the whole island tour. We're gonna drive the circumference. Where should we go? So I'm here to tell you guys, I don't mean to bust your bubble, but you cannot drive the circumference of the island because no road goes all the way around the island. But what you can do is head out to the west side, and you can drive all the way to the end of the road. And that road essentially ends here at Yokohama. So as you're entering into Yokohama, most of the parking is just gonna be off the side of the road. There really isn't a whole lot of like parking lots, but there is one very small parking lot that probably holds like 20 cars, and that's gonna be right next to the restroom and shower facilities here at Yokohama. If you guys wanna come out here, one of the main reasons you would come is look around. There's not many people out here. Far, far different than Waikiki. So if you guys are looking to get away from the crowds a little bit, I would recommend coming to Yokohama. The west side probably has the best chance of nice sunny days out of any other spot on island. So if you guys are divers, and I mean like experienced free divers, I'm not talking about snorkel, but if you're an experienced free diver and you're looking to get in the water, this is a good place to do it. So here, there is gonna be a shelf that just continues to get deeper and deeper and deeper, a little bit quicker than most other beaches here are going to get. As you guys can see right now, it's plenty windy. We're like in sandstorm conditions. The winds here are going to be pushing you out pretty much constantly. So like always guys, if you're not a strong swimmer, please just don't go in, or keep it close enough where you're not gonna get swept off. One other important thing to mention, as you guys can probably see, there is absolutely no shade out here. So I'd highly recommend picking up a beach package from GoGo before you guys head out, so then you can have a tent, a little bit of shade, and be a little bit more comfortable, because a long, long day in this west side sun will certainly take a toll on you. And if you're anything like me, it's gonna take a toll on your skin too. That's gonna be it, you guys, from Yokohama. My name's Logan. This is GoGo Rental. Thanks again. Aloha. Aloha everyone, it's Logan back with GoGo Rental. Today, we're at Kahe Point, also known as Electric Beach. Although it is called Electric Beach, technically this is Kahe Point, and actual Electric Beach is just down there. You can see it, much larger beach. There really isn't a whole lot of snorkeling opportunity there, but if you're looking to surf, bodyboard, anything like that, Electric Actual, which is just past Kahe Point, that's gonna be the spot for you. This is Kahe Point, technically. Many people call it Electrics or Electric Beach, or both of these spots kind of together are called tracks because the train tracks roll through them. So now that we got all of the names straight, let's move on. As you're venturing out to Electric Beach, it does have a tendency to sneak up on you just because you're kind of going around a turn, and then boom, the parking lot is right there. So once you pass Ko'olina, you're getting very close. If you pass the power plant, you've gone too far. Now, let's talk about parking a little bit. There is a decent sized parking lot, and there's also some unmarked parking, which is just off of the road itself. The parking lot is going to be on the south side of the road, and there is a turnoff if you're making a left turn. So you don't have to stop traffic. You can get in the left lane and then make your left-hand turn. It's off of a busy highway, so we don't want to be slowing down traffic, causing an accident. If you do need to use that parking that's just off the side of the road, give that train track plenty of space. It is an active rail. They don't send a train down it very often, but I'd hate for you to park too close and come back to a little bit of a fender bender. You're really gonna be coming here more for the water activities than you are for the beach itself. So the beach is very narrow, very small. It is a nice little beach, but it's gonna fill up pretty fast, and most of the fun is gonna be had in the water. All right, let's talk about what we're all here for. The snorkeling. What are we gonna see? Where should we go? Logan, help me. Okay, I'm here to help. First thing I'll say is, like snorkeling anywhere, like going in the water anywhere on this island, please be mindful of your capabilities. If you come out here and these waves are crashing hard and you're like, I haven't swum in anything, I haven't swam in anything except for a 6-foot kiddie pool for the last 10 years. maybe just take a time out on this one, man. But if you are a strong swimmer and you're feeling confident about it, I'm gonna walk you through it. Getting out, obviously there's gonna be a little bit of the break. You might have to dive a couple waves, but nothing crazy. Almost never anything crazy. Once you're out, you sort of have three different options. You can take a right directly out, which I'm gonna recommend if you're gonna say that you're on like the lower end of being confident with your swimming skills. Over to the right, there's gonna be plenty of, fish, turtles, anything like that you might see. There's also a sunken Buddha statue, which I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a red buoy out there right now, and that's pretty close to the area of the sunken Buddha statue. Option number two, you can continue straight out. It's named Electric Beach because there's pipes come out of a power plant, hot water from the power plant, dumping out here. Fish love it. Good snorkeling opportunity for you. Now, moving on. If you want to head out to where the pipes actually come out of the ground, start at the beach and you're kind of going to be going straight out, and you're just going to follow one of those fingers or veins of coral that stretches out. There are a few of them, so you could get lost, you could get a little bit confused. So a few things to look for when you're out there. One, if you see a group of people out by some churned up water, very, very good chance that that group of people is already out by the pipe outtake. Number two, you're gonna be following this coral vein, and then it's gonna kind of drop off, dissipate, and just become sand. That's when you wanna start looking for that rock pile. That's gonna go out, end in a little rubble pile, rock pile, and then you're gonna see pipe shooting out of that. Be very, very careful not to get into that pipe current because you are gonna get pushed out further to sea. It's nothing to like freak out about if that does happen to you, but once you get out of the current, the winds are also gonna be fighting against you. So it's best to just be super careful, stay on the shore side of those pipes so we're not being pushed out to sea. Now the last option, you guys can head out and take a left. Obviously, stay in the coral, do not get too close to the rocks because the waves will push you into the rocks. And they're sharp, it's not gonna feel good, you're gonna get cut up, but just stay away from them. Let's talk a little bit about the marine life that you may see while you're out here. Especially in the morning, early hours of the day, are gonna be dolphins. Now, if you do see dolphins, they're always gonna be a little bit further out, so don't venture out there if you're not a strong swimmer. Dolphins, new law, you can't be within 50 yards of a dolphin intentionally, on purpose, which basically means I can't swim down a dolphin, which you would never be able to do, but let's pretend like you could. You can't close that gap of 50 yards. Now, if you're just hanging out there, like I recommend doing anyways, and the dolphin comes up and decides to get within 25 yards of you and check you out, awesome. Just don't swim any closer to them. Sit there, enjoy that moment. It's probably gonna be quite the experience. Now, sea turtles. Sea turtles, you basically just can't touch. Good rule of thumb, keep at least an arm's distance away from the sea turtle, and then just don't like inhibit their path or get in their way or mess with them. Like if you're in the water with these animals, you're more than welcome to observe, enjoy them. That's why you're here. But let's not get too involved with any of these marine creatures. Number three is just gonna be smaller reef type fish, nothing crazy, but these fish are very used to being, I don't know if bothered is the right word, but some human contact on a regular basis. So they're pretty relaxed, pretty chill, and you can usually get pretty close to those smaller reef fish. As far as amenities go here, they are gonna have bathrooms and showers, so you're all set that way. And with that, I hope I gave you plenty to go off of for your next trip or your first trip here to Electric Beach. I feel like I might have got a little long-winded on that one, but all good things. Until next time, guys, I'm Logan. This is Hawaii. I'm Logan. This is GoGo Rental. Aloha.
Aloha everybody, welcome back to another GoGo Rentals Discover. Today we're going to be taking you over to the west side of the island, over to Makaha Beach. Alright, so Makaha Beach is tucked back pretty deep along Oahu's west coast. And the west side is special because if you're coming from Waikiki, there's only one road in and one road out. Essentially what that means is it's about as isolated as you can get from major tourist centers like Waikiki. And the side effect to that is it's super local, like small town country local. And there's no nice way to say this, but if you're on the west side, it's probably the most likely area of the island where you could run into hostilities simply for just looking like a tourist or being a tourist. So I wouldn't go as far as to say it's unsafe, but a little bit of respect and a good attitude will get you a long way. Okay, so Makaha Beach is the premier surfing beach on Oahu's west side. Today it's super flat, but on most days there's gonna be a pretty decent surf break and there's gonna be at least a few people out in the water catching some waves. But there are days when the swells will come in super big and all the pros are gonna be out there. Every now and then they'll host surfing competitions out there, and those can be really awesome to watch if you catch them on the right day. Makaha Beach is probably not gonna be the place where you wanna go to teach yourself how to surf. There is a pecking order out there, and if you're not familiar with surf culture, especially like Hawaii surf culture, there's a good chance you're gonna get yourself into trouble if you just run out there not knowing anything about what's going on. So other than surfing, the beach there is world class, and so is the snorkeling and the free diving and the scuba diving. If you're snorkeling out there, all the good snorkeling is gonna be where you see the dive boats moored up on the backside of the surf break. When you're on the shoreline, it looks like a really long way from shore. And that's because it is. If it looks too far for you to get out there, then it probably is too far for you to get out there, and you probably want to go snorkel somewhere else where you can be closer to the shoreline. And I know some of you guys are going to be hardcore free divers and scuba divers, and if that's you, then it's a pretty easy swim out there and a decent swim back. It feels way longer than it is, and it kind of feels like it takes forever, but it's not like exhausting or anything like that. You will want to watch out for the currents because sometimes they rip super hard and they definitely will slow you down. If you do make it out there, that section of reef on the north half of the beach has all kinds of like underwater caves and hangovers, things like that. And there's also a sizable sea turtle population out there. So if you're out there swimming around in the water, there's a really high chance you're gonna run into a turtle at some point. Just remember, it's illegal to touch them, so definitely don't do that. You want to keep your distance like at least 1 arm's distance. Otherwise you can get into trouble for that too. One more thing, if you are snorkeling, free diving, scuba diving, any significant distance away from a shoreline, you're legally required in the state of Hawaii to fly a dive flag like this one. Normally you're gonna see that attached to some sort of a buoy like this one, but the big thing to keep in mind is that something like this is going to reduce your chances of getting run over by boat, and that's really the reason why you're required to have one. Now in a lot of places this rule just is not enforced, so like places like Waikiki, Hanama Bay, the pipes over at Kahe Point, a lot of those places you're still required to have something like this, but typically in those areas there's zero boat traffic because of how crowded those areas are. But if you're going to be going out farther than where you see other people, or if you're in a place where you definitely see boat traffic like Makaha, out at Makua Beach, those places especially, you're gonna want to have something like this. Other than that, all of my Gen Pop people are probably gonna have the best time if you guys just hang out on the beach, play in the shore break, poke around in the water. Kind of towards the middle of the beach, roughly, is probably where you're gonna stay. That way you're out of the surf break, but still on the beach. Parking is pretty decent for a beach in Hawaii. There's a lot of off the street parking, so try not to create any traffic jams going for one of those spots. My favorite place to park is in the parking lot by the toilets and the beach showers across the street. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Aloha guys, it's Logan back again with another GoGo Rental Discover. Today, we are on the west side of Oahu at Makua Beach. Makua Beach is located on the northwest side of Oahu. From central Waikiki, you're probably looking at about an hour drive to get out here. First, let me tell you that there's really 2 places to park once you get to Makua. There's a southern portion and there's a northern portion. That northern portion is gonna be where most of the people park, and that's also where I would recommend parking. Now, since we're talking about parking, do not, and I repeat, do not leave anything in your car, motorcycle, moped, I don't care what it is, do not leave anything in there that you feel like keeping, because if it can get stolen, it will get stolen here. So I just want to make that point very, very clear that if you leave something in your car, just don't expect it to be there when you get back. Now, who is Makua Beach for? Clearly, like any beach on the west side, it's gonna be sandy, beautiful, great weather, little rain. There are no restroom facilities out here, so bring some toilet paper if you're worried about it. Use the restroom before you leave town, but there's gonna be no toilet here at Makua Beach. If I'm gonna come to Makua, chances are I'm gonna be snorkeling or diving. So right now, guys, we're actually sitting at the end or the most northern point of Makua Beach. If you can see all the way to the south, that's really how far the beach goes all the way to the end. So as you can see, it's a very, very long beach, and I'll sort of try to break that up a little bit into like where to go for what. So where we are, essentially straight out from here on the northernmost point is going to be the best snorkeling. So you would head out and then take an immediate right to get to the best snorkeling spots. Behind me, over to the south side of the beach, that's going to be a lot better for just hanging out on the beach, getting into the water without having to walk on rocks. If you're just looking for leisure, you're just going to be hanging out, I would say stick to the south side of the beach. When entering from the parking to the beach, you have to walk through a little patch of trees or some taller grass, and there is Kahe, which looks like this, all over in there. And most of the time when you find it, it won't still be like on the tree like this or on the stick. What will happen is these little thorns will be broken off and they'll just be a part of it. And you'll step on this thorn and they are sharp and they will go into you and it will ruin your day. So best to keep some sandals on until you're actually on the beach portion. And even then, I have gotten Kahe a couple times in my feet here just being on the beach. If you get further away from the trees, your chances are always less of finding Kahe, but never zero. The water here at Makua is one of my personal favorite spots to come and look for dolphins. So you can see them from the shore. Actually, just a minute ago, we saw a couple pods of dolphins and actually a few whales swimming by just by chance. There is a new law saying to stay at least 50 yards from dolphins, and really, if they come closer to you, that's okay, but you just cannot continue to pursue them once you're inside of that margin. There isn't a lot of shade here at Makua. There's a little bit more than there is at, say, Yokohama, but I wouldn't count on getting a shady spot, especially if you're showing up later in the day. So it may be important to grab a beach package or at least an umbrella and a couple beach chairs from GoGo Rental before heading out. Okay guys, thanks again for watching another GoGo Rental Discover. My name is Logan. This is GoGo Rental. Until next time, aloha.
Aloha everybody, welcome back to another GoGo Rental Discover. Today we're going back to the west side to check out Nanakuli Beach. Okay, so if you're coming from Honolulu and you're going out to the west side, Nanakuli Beach is going to be the first beach that you run into after you pass by Ko'olina and Electrics. As you're driving in off the main road, there's a street light where you turn left to access the main parking lot. The parking lot is quite sizable. However, on weekends and holidays, this place is going to be packed, and it's definitely one of those places that will fill up. The parking lot has like a lower section and an upper section. The upper section has a couple of parking spots that you have to book through the city. So if you don't have one of those camping sites reserved, then don't park in any of the camping sites. This is one of those beaches where the locals are almost always going to outnumber the tourists. And the west side of Oahu doesn't exactly have the best reputation for being hospitable towards tourists. So I wouldn't exactly say that it's unsafe to be there. Just remember to be a little extra respectful and keep a really good positive attitude, and that should get you a long way. Okay, so the beach itself is wide and sandy, and exactly the reason why we come to the west side. The middle section is going to be nice and sandy, and the edges are going to be rocky with a little bit of underwater reef. If you're comfortable swimming pretty far offshore, the snorkeling and freediving is actually pretty decent out here. Not a whole lot of scuba diver action, and it's not exactly a place that's known for like surfing and bodyboarding, but every now and then you will see some of those things floating around. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.